Continue today's call with Georgia head coach Kirby Smart. The Bulldogs will travel to Alabama for 7:30 Eastern kickoff Saturday night on ABC. And coach, while we wait on questions, if you could please take a moment to comment on your team as you enter this matchup Saturday at Alabama.
Yeah, we're looking forward to heading over to Tuscaloosa, Friday, and had a good week work so far, and going to get after it today to try to keep getting better. And got a lot of respect for Alabama and the time I spent there and the program and what Kalen's done since his arrival, and looking forward to a great matchup.
For questions, please use the raise hand function, and we'll begin with Mike Griffith of Dog Nation.
Coach, topics come up on NIL-related issues, players leaving teams midseason, maybe testing the waters elsewhere. I think, you've been through that once or twice yourself. I guess I'd ask you, when you're recruiting players or families or however you approach that, what are some of the things that you look for that might, I don't know, prevent or decrease the likelihood that you got a player that's going to split on the team midseason or maybe skip out of a bowl game?
Yeah, the first part, I don't really understand the beginning part of that. They can't test the waters mid-season. There is no portal opening. They can't go talk and see people. Now, it doesn't prevent guys from saying they want to stop playing, which I know is what you're, I guess, referencing. But I certainly don't have an answer to know that. I don't think anybody does. I think it's more about the relationship and the connection and knowing the players you sign. And the better you know them and the better they know you, then you have good communication, the expectations of what it's going to be like when you join our team and how we practice and what we do is really important to convey to kids nowadays so they know what they're getting themselves into. The only time you end up a lot of times in those situations is when communication breaks down and, someone maybe has a different expectation than you do, and they're shocked by what they go through in terms of what the program consists of and what the demands are. So we try to find people that seek hard and enjoy being in a tough program, because we feel like football is a tough sport to play. And if you're going to run from that or look elsewhere, then we would prefer not sign them.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Palmer Toms of Dawgs HQ.
Yeah, Kirby, it's being reported that London is going to miss Saturday's game with mono. Just wanted to see if you could comment on that.
Yeah, we'll see when the reports come out. We still don't have a lot of verification on some things. So that's what we do the injury reports for.
Next is Steve Moulton of WZZN.
Coach, always appreciate the time. I wanted to ask about mobile quarterbacks and the just trying to contain mobile quarterbacks. How difficult is it to keep that mobile quarterback in a pocket, and how big of a challenge is that heading into a game where the quarterback has explosive capabilities?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, mobile quarterbacks are really hard to defend. They're more and more prevalent. I think the evolution of football has become it's more of a passing game than it was years ago, and therefore defenses have adapted and they try to come after the quarterback. And so the mobility of the quarterback has had to increase, especially in the college ranks and the college level. And it's a challenge to contain mobile quarterbacks. A lot of times you really can't contain them. There's 6 gaps up there if they have 5 linemen. So when you start doing the math, unless you're bringing 6 guys, you don't have the gaps covered. And the guys that you have rushing them are not the same athlete that the quarterback is. So you've got mismatches and open gaps, and that creates an opportunity for a really good athlete to move around and extend plays. So it's tremendously difficult.
And Coach, I know you were asked about your head-to-head matchups with former Bama coach Nick Saban. Looking back on those matchups, what made those matchups so difficult to prep for and win in your perspective? Was it just the talent on the team, the in-game adjustments? What made Nick so good at what he did, Coach?
I mean, we could talk for hours. I mean, development, recruiting, scheme, you know, practice habit. I mean, you go for hours. That makes it tough. But good football players and good football programs are hard to play against. They're hard to compete against. He's got, you know, I think the record speaks for itself in terms of NFL production, number of players in the NFL. Good football players are hard to beat, especially when they play with discipline and toughness, and that's what his teams have always done.
Thank you, Coach.
If there are any other questions for Coach Smart, please use the raise hand function. Next, we have Barry Trammell, the Tulsa World.
Yeah, Kirby, this is unrelated to your game, but Oklahoma goes to Auburn this week, first time ever. They've never played down there. We've always heard that Jordan-Hare is one of the better environments. What makes it such a tough place to play?
They've got tremendous passion and energy for their program. They've had a great fan base following for years, but they you know, they've always played well at home and had a great atmosphere. And you know, most SEC programs do, so it's not like that's a difference. But I've always felt like it was a little bit more over top there in terms of loyalty of the fan base and passion and energy on game days.
Thanks, Kirby.
Next is Mac Engel, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram.
Coach, thank you very much. This is a general college football question regarding the sport, because I don't know if you saw this morning a prominent quarterback out west who's pretty good announced his intentions to sit out the rest of the year. And as college football and NCAA sports continues to change and sort of figure itself out, ideally, Coach, what would this look like so rosters could kind of be intact and these sorts of things could be prevented and everybody gets there, so to speak, and it's done, I guess, fairly?
I guess you're asking me for a solution. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, sort of a solution and just something that's sort of plausible so these sorts of things, that all these opt-outs and these kinds of things aren't happening so frequently with almost no way to prevent it. Or maybe there's not.
Yeah, I don't have the answer. I can tell you that I don't think it'll be the last. And in the way we're moving into this abyss of unknown, and I'm talking about fiscal responsibility, financial commitments, financial promises. People sometimes make promises, and I know I've come across it in our recruiting, that they can't keep, and there's no sometimes there's no rebuttal for the athlete. Sometimes there's no rebuttal for the athletic department or the collective or whoever's involved. And it's sad that there's just not a better a way to police it better, because it's unfortunate. And when people make, you know, I'm not suggesting UNLV made promises they can't keep. I'm not saying that. I don't know that situation. I want to be clear on that. What I'm saying is it happens more and more, and it's going to happen even more and more as we move into this revenue share, where I feel like there's going to be, unless there's a contract and there's a set contract where, you know, person A has to stay a certain amount of time, or, you know, they're going to have to pay back this contract, we're never going to get to where we want to get to. There's probably going to be more and more of this going on, especially as the year goes on, November, December, and athletic departments are going to struggle to be able to make their commitments come to fruition. And I think we're going to see some really tough times in college football when all this is said and done.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.